We are officially live.
All right.
Yeah, we'll just sit here a minute and maybe chit chat while I see people are coming on, as the old song say, come on in the room.
Come
They're
on in.
coming, they're coming in the room, and we definitely appreciate that
Hmm.
as we let the people come in across the various platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah, I see them coming on in. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. Come on in. Let's hit those like and share buttons. If this is your first time on the broadcast, and if you're on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If this is your first time joining us and you're in one of our Facebook groups, go ahead and hit that button and join the group. But most importantly, let's like and share this broadcast. Get it out to as many people as possible because we will be blessed on today. So we want to make sure we get this message out. Amen. Yes, we do.
Amen.
Yes, we do.
Amen.
All right. So it is now 6:01. It is Monday, 6:01 p.m. Central Standard Time. My name is Laquita Monley, and this is Create Your Future Self Live, where myself and my co-host, who's going to be unavailable for us today, Mr. Victor of Nico Don Project. Oh my goodness, that is my alarm. Let me know I'm late. All right. So Vic is actually vacationing. I wish he's on his way to one of my favorite places on the planet. Wish I was with him, but he is on his way to the UK as we speak.
Oh, wow.
So
Well, we wish him a really good time. Have a great time, Vic. I'm sorry I'm not going to meet you on this go.
Oh, but it will be on the next go round, for sure. But again, it's 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thank you for those who continuously view us. We appreciate your love and support. Let's get this broadcast, the likes and the shares on this broadcast out across the various social media platforms, because today we have an amazing guest. Her name is Miss Gretchen Williams. She is the HOPEFull Coach. And today she's going to drop some nuggets on us. So get your pencils, your pens, your paper, because don't none of that forget. You want to make sure you take some notes today, because she's going to drop some gems on us, some things we don't want to forget. Hey, Miss Gretchen, how are you, ma'am? How are you?
I'm doing great, Laquita. Glad to be here. Just thank you so much for what you do and having me here tonight. I'm good.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming. I know we had a great attempt at doing a broadcast a couple of months ago.
Yes, we did. Yes,
on my Friday show. But you know what? God is good. This one will be successful. Amen.
Amen.
So why don't you go ahead and tell our viewers, tell them about who you are and what you do.
All right. I am Gretchen Williams, everyone. I am a wife. I am a daughter. I am a believer in the Lord Jesus Christ. I am a follower of His. I am also a great believer and proponent of hope. By day, I am a juvenile violent crime paralegal here in the city of Norfolk, Virginia. And I've been there in my office for about 23 years this past January. But by night, well, actually, I keep the superhero outfit on all the time, because you never know when you're going to need some hope. But as soon as those hours are done there, I become back again to the Hope Coach and the solopreneur of HOPEFull Coaching.
The Hope Coach. You're right. We all need that. We all need hope.
Yes,
every day, all day. So let's dive into that. Tell us more about. I want to know about the paralegal thing too, because you've been doing this for 23 years.
23. I've been longer. I've just been in the office that I am for 23 years. This past January. So, I actually work with the Norfolk Commonwealth Attorney's Office. I have, like I said, been there for 23 years. I've been on the team that I am on for the past almost 10 years. It's a joint team of just straight juvenile and then juvenile violent crime. So about 5 years ago, we did like a little switch. So I became the juvenile violent crime paralegal, and then my partner, she became the juvenile paralegal. So I work with very heinous crimes that are committed either against youth and children and youth or babies, and then where they themselves also do violent crime. So it's a very heavy profession at times.
Yeah, I can't even imagine. The reward has to be when you're able to be a blessing to some.
Yes, indeed, yes.
Well,
Champion those victims.
That really pairs well with hopeful coaching, because I can't imagine the amount of hope and that people need when they find themselves in a position where you are now a person that they have to speak to regularly, in terms of going through you to speak to their attorney or however that system will work. You are definitely properly positioned to give hope, and I know that hope that you're giving is the hope in the Lord. So talk to us about hopeful coaching.
All right. Well, I have been doing this a long time, and maybe I think about 3 years ago, though, I was thinking about maybe transitioning after I retire here at some point into doing something else. And it was during lunch one day, and I had my door shut, and, I was praying and kind of just sitting back and thinking, Lord, what would I like to do? And it was actually a colleague that I have never seen her face. I have never met her personally, but she is part of this hopeful journey. And she called me one day for, a case. I was walking her through something, and she was like, you should be a life coach. And I kind of dismissed it because, one, I didn't know what a life coach was at the time. And so that day, though, about 3 years ago, I was in my office praying and just kind of leaned back, and I said, Lord, what would you like for me to do? And that thought popped back in my head. I pulled my phone up, Google, what is a life coach? And then I read that definition that came up. I said, what? I do this all day, every day. It's part of what I do. My coworkers come and share and share their life. And, I walk with them through situations and things like that. And I was like, what? I could do this for a living. And so I began to research that. And long story short, I was accepted at a coaching school, the Christian Coaching Institute out of Charlotte. And I went to coaching school in 2019, actually graduated 2 years ago this month. And while I was in coaching school, different of the exercises we had to do, especially once we got into business development, one of the exercises, the Lord spoke to me then and said, I want you to name your business Hopeful Coaching. I mean, it's straight up like Hopeful Coaching. And I argued with the Lord. I was like, who names their business Hope, with hope in the title? And, kind of like, not an audible kind of argument, but the Lord and I went back and forth on this thing. And I told him, hope is hokey. And he said, hope is necessary. It is necessary. It is like air. It is like the breath, the blood that you need. It is like fuel. And I said, okay, Lord, I will do it. And so even through some of the exercises, people in my class didn't understand until we had another type of kind of developing activity, and then it began to sync with them. And so that's kind of where Hopeful Coaching itself was born. And then we go into a global pandemic in 2020. And what do you see? Newscasts,
a lot of hope.
Yes, morning shows, commercials, migraine hope. I'm laying Phoenix, all kinds of things, just mentioning the word hope. It was every day. And then that kind of began to solidify within me why God said, that's why I want you to be, a broker of hope. I want you to be a coach of hope. And so here we are, and I share hope every day, all day, in every way that I can possible.
Man, that's great. I understand about having those internal arguments with the Lord, right? When you're having this conversation in your mind, with him, but he always wins, right? Like
Yes,
you're going to come into an agreement with that thing. And I know that your clients and those who are connected to you are very happy that you did come into agreement and that you decided to become the Hope Coach.
Yeah.
One of the, I see you, there's 3 things here that you specify that you help people with, or you can help them do. And I just wanted you, as I go through them, just tell me a little bit in detail when you're sitting with your client or that potential client. And not talking about it in terms of removing obstacles, being their best selves, and how to live their dreams.
Okay. So each one of those?
Yep.
Okay. So what the first one was removing the obstacles?
Yep.
Okay. So as we know, life is so daily, Laquita. It's so daily. And there are hurdles to jump and obstacles. Sometimes we are an obstacle even for ourselves. Many times we are the obstacle. But through hope, through my model of hope, I get people to really see, and not just what the worldly definition is, because what the worldly definition is of hope is just an expectation, like a wish. I wish, it would snow so that I don't have to go to work tomorrow, or I wish I wish we would get a raise this year. That's not what real hope is. Real hope is a confident, joyful expectation that better is coming. And so, when I walk through with my clients, okay, where you are now may not feel hopeful, or, you might not have as much hope, or you might even have no hope in this instance. But when we develop a plan and we strategize and then we look, what could be an obstacle for you? Is it, your lack of setting boundaries, or your procrastinating? Then we come up with a strategy and an action plan to overcome those obstacles. So that would be, one of the, the probably how, we do that and work toward that end. I've had some clients where we had to overcome some big things: procrastination, fear and doubt. And we all sometimes have that within ourselves, that, I can't do this, or I'm not qualified. Well, why aren't you qualified? And if you don't feel you are in this instance, then what can we do? What steps can we do to get you to that point?
To that place where you feel like you qualify. Overcoming obstacles, that's a big piece, man. That is a big piece. And
absolutely.
Like you said, a lot of times the obstacles that you have to overcome, right there.
Right there.
Right there. It's in your mind. And that's the beautiful thing about having a coach. Because when you can only see that brick wall, you have a mental brick wall, you can see what the coach can see.
Right. Potential.
And yes, exactly. And that coach has that ability. Like I was an athlete when I was younger. I saw my position where I was playing that position, because that's my one job. But the coach, and even as the point guard, and I wasn't a point guard, I played basketball. The point guard has to be able to see the whole floor, but the coach has a completely different viewpoint of all 10 individuals on that floor, and can give clear instruction that person may or may not have been able to see, or either I can see it, but I can't figure out how to fix it. I can't figure out how to do it. And they can give that instruction. And that's what a coach does for us in our life. And removing an obstacle is a big piece, where having a coach alongside with you is a powerful tool to have. And, I like that second one, though. Be your best self, because, it sounds a lot like our show.
Right. And that's where the full piece comes in, to being your best self. And that second part of my business name, HOPEFull Coaching. The full piece is, the least thing that you can do is to figure out what you hope for. But once you strategize and you activate and you start reaching for it, the most that you can do is to live that out. And so that is what I'm working with people to do, to help them to be their best selves, to live their fullest life. Not all of my clients are believers, but I still believe that God came that we might have life and that more abundant. And that abundance is full. It's not always money, but we are meant to live full and purposeful, life and live out our purpose. And so, when people get clear about, their purpose or their calling or their goals and start working toward that, then that's when they are able to live and be their best self. And, I didn't say this part earlier, but the hope in the name, in my business name, is helping others pursue elevation. That elevation, that empowerment and elevation is to help others to be their best self.
I like that. I like that. Let me go ahead and put that out there. Helping others pursue
elevation.
Hope.
Yes.
I love it.
Thank you.
Love it.
He gave that too.
I mean, it's a powerful tool because that's what we're looking for, right? Someone to help us get to that next level.
Right. Absolutely.
Someone to help us get to that next level. We are where we are and we've done well where we are. But to get to that next level, we have to connect with someone who can see my purpose, my passion, the plan that God has for me, my business, whatever it is that I'm doing, and they can help me make it to that next level. Love it. Oh, helping others pursue purpose, helping others pursue elevation. Yeah. Oh yeah. And so now let's talk about the third one. Live your dreams.
All right. So again, that part comes through, again, just choosing hope. And when you choose hope, there's a quote that when you choose hope, anything is possible. And sometimes we get, in a rut, we get in where we are, and we think that's comfortable. I had actually a coaching session in the vestibule of my church yesterday, after church was over, talking with someone that, talking about our comfort zones, and that our comfort zones are not comfortable, but sometimes that's where we get, and we just rest there, and when we get there, look, sometimes we cease to dream, we cease to imagine. You know what, I could do this, or I could do that. I think it was Friday, I did a live on my way walking back to my office, and it was National Honesty Day. And if I told my hopers, that's my community, as Hope Coaching community, I said, if I'm honest, I never would have imagined at 53 becoming a life coach. The decision was made at 51, but the activation of it was done at 53. And then I've written my first book. And so now I'm living out dreams, because you know what? I dared to just sit one day. Remember when we were kids and we used to daydream and we used to imagine? Well, that's what HOPEFull Coaching does. That's what I do. I get people hopeful. Get your hopes up. And when you get your hopes up, and don't just get them up, because we got to do something to get you to that next level. And when you get to that next level, then you begin to live out your dreams and your hopes and your goals. And that, you know what, there's not an age limit on that. 25, 35, 55, you can just keep on going. And that, I think I saw yesterday too, 75-year-old woman running her first 5K. You know what that started with? That started with hope.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
That started with hope. You have to, hope is where I feel like where it all begins. The dream, the goal, the mission, the vision, it all starts with hope. And then, you add the faith to it. Faith and hope are like sisters. And even with hope itself, desire and expectation are part of that. So that goes in with helping for you to live your dreams out. And again, like, there's no age limit on it. There's no lack of skill set on it, because if you don't have the skills, you know what, you can, there's YouTube University, there's courses online. There's all kinds of things that you can do in order to just fulfill your dreams.
Wow. This has been, we're only 20 minutes into the broadcast, everybody. And Ms. Gretchen has been dropping some amazing nuggets. I hope you guys have been paying attention and writing it down. But you know what? Don't worry, because I know me. Sometimes if the flow is good, I'm not writing notes. So I always, back in the day, we'd buy the CD and go back and play it back. Well, today, all you have to do is get the replay. Hit the replay. Thank you to the viewers. I know you guys are being blessed right now, so please go ahead and hit those share buttons if you have not done so. Let's share this broadcast out across the various social media platforms. And again, thank you to those that are watching us across Facebook, YouTube, as well as Twitter. Thank you so much to our viewers that are getting to tune in and view us now. Our new viewers that are on Apple TV and Roku TV. Thank you guys so much for joining the Create Your Future Self Live family. Our broadcast comes to you every Monday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we have great guests that give you amazing value on how to become your future self. And that's exactly what Gretchen has been doing today. She's been dropping some bombs, ladies and gentlemen. We've talked about so many different things, and she's given us even some nuggets. I like that last one where you were talking about the expectations and how I want you to unpack that one a little bit, because a lot of times when I have potential clients or clients that sit in front of me, and they have no hope, and we're trying to figure it out, how to help them in that journey.
Right.
You find that expectation management sometimes is a real big issue. So when you're dealing with a client and you see that that's something where either A, their expectations aren't great enough, or B, they have unrealistic expectations based off of the amount of energy, effort, and finance that they can put in what they want to do.
Right. Well, it goes to, when you're thinking about the goals and you use the acronym, you do need your expectations to be realistic. I think about the fact, I was talking with one of our mutual friends earlier, and my last words to her were that, you know what, I am authentically and unapologetically hopeful. But at the same token, people can just say, well, she's just overly positive, or she's just really optimistic. I am those things, Laquita, but I'm also a realist. I try to keep it real in the field. I have, I don't know if any of my young ladies that have grown up, with me now, I used to be a children's ministry leader. And so now I had them at 3rd through 6th grade, but now they are married and have their families and things like that. But that was one of the things I tried to instill in them, about being realistic about your expectations. And so there again, that's where the world is giving you that hope is like a feeling or of expectation and desire for a particular thing to happen. And it is that. But real hope is that if that doesn't happen, if the worst happens, I'm going to be okay. I am going to thrive. And so it is a joyful, confident expectation that better is coming. And if that better doesn't look like what you thought it would look like, and you have a trust and a hope in the real source of hope, then you are okay. You are okay with that. You might have to do some adjusting, but you still have an expectation that your good has been kept in mind, even if, like I said, the worst has happened. for me, hope kind of arose. I've always been a hopeful person, but 10 years ago this year, I went through something that very traumatic for me. And, it, by all standards, you would think that I was hopeless, but the hope was born out of that. So my expectation of what, life would have been like with my son, I lost my son, but something else, God had a different plan, and he still continues to use his presence, what he instilled in me. And so my expectation is different, Laquita. Yeah, I expected to have a 10-year-old by now and doing certain things. He had some physical challenges, so life was not going to be even that within that expectation. But God had a different plan, and when I rested in him and put my trust in him that he is good and that he works all things out together for good for those who love him and are called according to his purpose, because we stop that he works all things out for good. We stop it right there, but there's an ending to that verse. Your expectations have to be redefined or realigned to match his. And so, that part is a spiritual piece, but even with working with someone that's not, a believer, your expectations still have to be real. They have to be, you have to be looked at. We walk through that process of, like you said, sometimes it's not your finances. Maybe sometimes it's not your skill set, but you know what? Let's work on, you might have to start a budget. You might have to get out of debt. You might have to go back to school. You might have to do, whatever you need to do in order to, have those expectations met. But you keep them real. You have to definitely keep them real. You have to keep them timely. You have to, have some accountability with it and everything.
Wow. That's powerful. That, finding and understanding and knowing where your source of hope is.
Right.
Definitely sets an amazing foundation for your expectations.
Yes.
As a believer, I understand that my hope and my trust is in the Lord.
Right.
And we build realistic expectations according to what my purpose and plan is that he has for my life from there. And I love the way that you're even able to utilize what we know is truth from God's word, even with your clients that are non-believers, and still help them get to that position of hope, and from there to walking out and living in their dreams.
Right.
That's a powerful tool in and of itself. So you know what I want to do? I want to take this time to, we've got a couple of great comments up in here, and I also want you to tell people how they can connect with you. How can they reach out to you?
Okay. All right. If you want to reach out to me, I am on Facebook. I'm under HOPEFull Coaching, and if you just put in HOPEFull Coaching, you should see, it should come up with me with my logo, which is a hot air balloon. I'm on IG. I'm on Instagram with Hope Coach _ Gretchen, and I usually drop in some hopeful nuggets on that every day. And then I have a website. It is hopeful-coaching.life. And so that is those are the 3 best ways to get in touch with me and follow me and see what I'm about, see what my message is about, and just to get hopeful, get hopeful. Again, it's not an unrealistic type of hope, and I don't want people to think that I feel like every day is just unicorn dust and tulips, because it's not. But when you have real hope, you can, trust me, I'm a living witness. You can live through what feels like the bottom has dropped out, or and you can still thrive. I'm still the person that I am because I know the source of my hope, and I know what it is and who it is.
Amazing. So I have, ladies and gentlemen, if you're following us on Facebook and our various groups, as well as on Twitter and on YouTube, please look in the comment section. I've placed the links there for HOPEFull Coaching Facebook group, as well as the Instagram account. And also, Ms. Gretchen, I have also placed your website in the comment section as well. So people, you can get in touch with her. Just check out the links in the comment section on your preferred platform, and you will be able to reach out to Ms. Gretchen and join her community there of HOPEFull Coaching. So now what I wanted to talk about now is we're building you have a great way to build people up and get them to that position. Talk to me about three like basic things that you do with each of your clients to kind of help position them because not everybody who comes to you to say, I want to be a coaching client, they're really ready to be your coaching client. It's a good idea. So give me three things that you do with your clients to make sure that they are actually in the right frame of mind to benefit from coaching.
Right. Because, and as you know too, we're not a good fit for everybody. Sometimes, I've had to refer people to other coaches because we're just not a good fit. But, for the most part, I did have a client, last year that she needed something a little bit more than coaching. She actually needed therapy, and so referred her out. And she said, well, Gretchen, when I get healed or get more advanced in my healing, then I might want to come back and be coached by you. I was like, absolutely. Yeah. One of the things that I do with each of my clients, I have something that's called a complimentary in hope strategy session. And so in that, it just establishes a safe place, a confidential place, an environment to see, for my potential client to share whatever it is that they feel like, they need coaching on. And it, helps them to feel relaxed and feel known, seen, and eventually loved. My clients come to know that I'm not just coaching them just to be coaching them. I come to a bond is formed, and I come to love them and care for them, even way past the coaching. The relationship is done. But one of the things that I do, first things to do, is to bring about awareness to where they are when they first come to me, when they first come into this strategy session. Where are you? Where, tell me a little bit about, what's going on in your life, and, what brings you to this point. And then we get an awareness to see, is it a dream? Is it a point of action that they need to take? Are they stuck? Just whatever it is. And so we just talk. It's not about at that point necessarily going through the coaching model at that time. We're just talking. It's just like you and I are talking. That's how it is. I let them talk, and I do more of the listening. And then so we get that established, and then I ask them, like what's some important things that you would like to accomplish if we were to work together. What would you like to accomplish? What would you like to see happen? And see, that gives like a visual of, they begin to visualize, well, this is where I am now, but then, that's where I want to be, and that's where I want to go. Because again, we were designed to be, to do, and to go more. And I think sometimes, again, we get stuck and we don't we don't progress like we should. And then the last thing I do with them is to offer them really authentic encouragement, Laquita. Lots
Mm.
of people are not encouraged. They don't get encouraged. No one, sometimes says to them, you know what, I believe in you. I think you can do it. I know you can, I know you can do it. And I really encourage people. I come to call myself like a modern Barnabas, like Barnabas in the Bible. I really like to encourage
Yes.
people, but not, again, it's real, it's authentic. I'm not just pumping you up. I'm not just giving you fluff and guff. If I tell you something, it's because I believe that you can do it. And that's one of those are probably the three things that I do with everybody, whether it's a coaching relationship or you just my friend. I am going to try to encourage you, and just just hear some words. With COVID, we've done things virtual. So, I've done coaching where we went down to the waterfront and sat on a bench, and, my client sat in one end, I sat at the other, and we just looked out on the water. But with things being virtual, you have to give that encouragement, that hug in your voice, in your presence, and let people just know that they're important.
Yeah, that's real good, because coaching and virtual speaking were things that were happening pre-COVID, but here post-COVID, that stressors that have come with COVID have amplified a lot of things within people. And now, depending on the person's comfort level with in-person visitation, it's really important to you hit the nail on the head right there. Be able to give them that hug, that love hug, in your voice. When they see you, are you projecting hope, right? Yeah, you're projecting encouragement and love to your client, to let them know that you are on their team. Like, I am here for you.
Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. How with the pandemic, what are some of the things that you have done with your clients that you can no longer meet them in person? What are some of the things that you've done to help them convey that love to convey that love in your voice?
Right. One of the things I do is I cheer. I cheer them on. I clap. I celebrate. I celebrate them, and I get them to celebrate themselves. That was, as you know, every coach needs a coach. And so my coach has been working on me. Look, I can celebrate you till the cows come home. I don't always celebrate myself, but I celebrate. And then I also help them to learn how to celebrate themselves. And we do, affirmations, we do declarations, we do exercises just depending upon what the what the subject matter that we're coaching on. They get homework, and I check in. I'm checking in with them. I do a hopeful check-in. Sometimes it's weekly, sometimes it's bi-weekly, but they get a hopeful check-in. It's either an email or a text message. How are you doing? What's going on with you? Let me know if there is anything that I can pray with you and pray for you, and even non-believers believe in the power of prayer, and they will ask you to pray for them in a minute.
I know, right?
So, so that's just some of the things, that I do just to make sure that they're still, know that they're seen and they are known and they are appreciated themselves and valued, because like you mentioned that. I'm sorry, you mentioned that like with the pandemic, and they went with that term social distancing. I had a little problem with that myself in the beginning because it was, it should be called spatial distancing.
Yeah, because what's social about that?
Exactly. Exactly. And, but when people had to go into their homes and just, be there and, that was hard. That was really, really hard for many folks. Many folks, and they could feel their hope waning in that. So if you have somebody that's intentional about reaching out to you and encouraging you and concerned about you, but also pushing you when you need to be when you need a little push too.
Yeah.
You need a little push. I got no problem with pushing you.
Push, right? Push. Push. Being the hopeful coach, helping others pursue elevation. That's so powerful. I'm going to say that for the rest of this evening. I am. Because I knew you were the hope coach, but we never discussed the breakdown of the acronym. I love that. Helping others pursue elevation.
Yeah.
Who would not want someone on their team that I'm telling you my primary purpose in life is to help you pursue elevation?
That's right.
That's right. Like you want that person on your team, that person that's committed to you and helping you reach your goals. You want that person on your team. I'm glad you're on my team. Yeah. I just want you to know that I'm so glad you're on my team.
Glad to be here. And glad to be on yours too, because you be dropping some nuggets too, honey, every day. you be helping the hope coach every day. Yes. I love the toolbox, all of it. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, with the toolbox, I mean, it's kind of the same. It's the same thing. It's my desire is that when people partner with the toolbox, whether they're on my podcast, whether they're looking at one of my lives, or you're in my blog, my social media, wherever you are, and you're tuning into the toolbox. I want people to leave with value. I want them to find a tool that can help them grow as entrepreneurs or help them in their own personal growth and development, whatever that might be. And my husband he's a guy that loves working with his hands, and his toolbox is precious to him. I'm like, I don't even know how you know this ain't in the right space, but he does, and I remember one time he was working on a vehicle and he needed a specialized tool. And he went to get the tool and all I heard was wrench. Now the rest of that, and he told me how much that thing costs. Yeah. You see me scratching my head? I was not keen. But he needed it to get the job done. And that's what I want people to be able to do, to come onto my platforms and find that specialized tool that they need to get the job done, whatever that job is. And that's what they're getting with you as the hopeful coach. Right. That's exactly. They're getting what they need, helping others pursue elevation. They're getting that specialized tools that they need to pursue the next level in whatever it is they're trying to do, whether it's life, business, spiritual growth and development, whatever it is. You are helping them to provide that special tool. Yeah. We have a viewer here, a YouTube viewer, and she says that the cool thing about coaching is that a coach doesn't tell you what to do or give you the answers. Absolutely. They help people discover the answers that already lie within them. The coach acts as a guide. That is perfect. Michelle, I'm going to go ahead and post your comment for the day because you hit the nail on the head. Yes. Praise God. Thank you for that. Because, I mean, she brought up a really great point, and I don't know if you've had that experience, but I know I have, where clients think we are the fixers.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, I'm going to pay you whatever this amount is, and you're going to tell me what to do, how to do, and when to do. It's like, I'm not your fixer. I'm not your virtual assistant.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And the person I was speaking with yesterday was like, you knew, like you already knew that that's where I needed to go. Why didn't you tell me? I was like, because you had to discover it for yourself. I said, I asked you questions, I would I'm in the legal field. We would do like a little redirect, but I said, but as we continue to walk this together and walk this journey together, then you began to discover within yourselves, just like Cheryl is saying, they discover what's already in them. And that to me, Laquita and Cheryl, that is the beauty of coaching. We don't tell them what to do. We don't give you the answers. We just work with you, we guide you, and we help you to discover. When that aha goes, that light bulb comes on, that thing is beautiful. It is beautiful. It's like being in a dark room and you just turn on the lights and you just see the beauty of it. But the thing is, that person is really turning on the lights. I'm just helping to guide them, in the process. So yes, that's a wonderful, wonderful comment. And that is true. We don't tell people what to do.
Yeah, we don't. It's a journey of self-discovery. I'm your guide.
Yes. I am your guide.
I'm your guide. I see that's the picture of my handsome youngest son. He my new profile picture, but I wanted to put up the HOPEFull Coaching website there for those that may have missed it in the comments. If you're just tuning in and you've missed the links that I shared earlier for Miss Gretchen on how to get to her website, her Instagram, her Facebook groups, I will put them in the comments again as we draw to the end of the broadcast, but I wanted to share that real quick so people can know. Go out to her website, connect with her, go out to that contact us form, fill it out, and Gretchen will get back to you, and you'll love your experience with her as the Hope Coach, helping others pursue elevation. I think I'm gonna just say that instead of just hope. Helping others pursue elevation.
Laquita, can I talk? Valerie here says that everyone needs a confidant, and she personally had to dismiss the background noise. And like if you believe that there was some beauty and some blessings in COVID, due to the pandemic, I feel like that really was one of the things that God did a shutdown so that we could quiet the noise and kind of sometimes in some respects redefine our boundaries and establish our boundaries. But yes, everybody does need a confidant. You need someone that you trust, and that trust has to be built. And even with coaching, it could be sometimes third session in where you begin to just kind of and with each other, or the client with you as the coach. And so yes, that trust has to be built, and trust is a part of hope. Like that confident expectation that you have, that comes from trusting the source of your hope, or of your faith, or of your love. So yes, trust does have to be earned, and when trust is violated, then relationship is broken, and that's just not personal, that's professional as well. Absolutely. Trust
definitely has to be earned, and as the coach, that's your goal. That is your goal, to earn the trust of your client, so that client can be authentically who they are, so that you can help them in that process of self-discovery, so you can help them reach that next level in the life that they're trying to reach. I'm very grateful that those in my life who have been mentors and coaches to me, that was something that was also valuable to them. Who I was as an individual was very valuable to them. So not only did they earn my trust, but they worked very hard to remain in my trust.
Exactly.
Exactly.
People need safe a safe place. And, and sometimes that place is not a physical room. Sometimes that's you as a person, to be that safe place that you can say and ask, and sometimes ask, even questions that you need to ask, so that trust can be, formulated. But like years ago, I talked to y'all about the traumatic situation that I had, 10 years ago with my son. And I'm like one of those people that people think, oh, she's just so strong and she's so hopeful and this and that. But I needed somebody to talk to. And, I needed that safe place to just let the walls come down and things of that nature, so that I could heal. And even though we're talking about coaching, you do have to formulate that relationship. And you form that foundation. And even sometimes after the coaching relationship is gone, like, you were saying, you still have that relationship. You still check in, you check on and everything.
Absolutely. So, absolutely. Yeah. I think that was the biggest difference between coaches and mentors that I've had versus therapists that I've seen. Once my relationship with the therapist was done, it was done. Right. Now, did the therapist have to gain my trust in order for me to open up? Yeah. I think in anything that we do where we have to be vulnerable, there's a trust factor involved. Even with me going to my regular general practitioner. Right. It's going to be a minute before I tell you what's really wrong with me. You're a really great doctor if you figured it out. And that probably makes me not the ideal patient. But I have to trust you. Yeah. But with that coaching relationship, we do have that freedom and that flexibility to maintain relationship with people long after they're no longer our clients. If we form that bond with them. Like we have another Facebook user says, keep the support system going. Absolutely right. We have to keep that support system going. Yeah.
And Miss Valerie used two of my favorite words, but God.
Yeah.
but God, yes. Yeah. So we do have to, you have to be aware, and with, like even for what I do as my part of my profession, I sometimes, you do think, you don't want to think the worst of people or that they're trying to take you or anything like that. But I feel like with the coaching client relationship, you get to where, what, this person is really there for my good, there to help me and help me to pursue, to go forward, to go up. And I think, that's really what my mission and my vision is. I wanted to say that a little earlier, that sometimes we hope more for the person than the person hopes for themselves.
Yes. Yeah. That's real good. I mean, and for viewers who are just tuning in, and especially at that moment in that comment, definitely 100% support that. It's like a lot of times, you have some clients, again, who think we're there to fix it.
Yeah.
And it's like you've gone to the doctor, they've told you what your issue is. You told them what the problem, how you feel, and they give you the answer, and then you put the prescription in the medicine cabinet and never use the prescription.
Right.
But and then you go back for your follow-up, and the doctor is thinking you're going to be a bit better. Or they're going to see how to adjust the medication because their goal is to get you better. And you haven't even started taking the prescription. You haven't changed the diet. And it is like that a lot for us as coaches, that when we're looking for that ideal client, we want someone just like God. You have to be a participant in your miracle. We understand that faith without works is dead. So I have to put the work. The work is a result of my faith. And now that I have faith that this coach that I'm hiring is going to help me get to my next level, I've got to put in the work. while the coach is doing their part.
Right.
That's like, for me, that's the ideal client. The client that is willing to put the work in.
Put the work in, right.
What would be your ideal client?
My ideal client is the person that is going to bring their authentic self. If that's in terms of hope, if that's being hopeless or hoping less, then be transparent and authentic about it, and want to do, like you said, to don the uniform. Let's look at the playbook, and then let's get at it. Let's strategize. Let's work together. And my ideal client, Laquita, is the person that also comes to the place where they want better for themselves. And once they choose hope and they want that better for themselves, again, they put in the work. Even a baby step is a step.
Yes.
And we're going to celebrate that. We're going to encourage that. We're going to build upon that. So that would be my person that just wants to come and let's see where I am. They visualize where they want to go, or who they want to be, or how they want to be, and then they get after it. They just get after it, and they just keep it moving. And that's one of my favorites. Let's kim it, and let's keep it moving. But whatever that looks like for them, not it might not be my definition of it, but you know what? That's what it is. It's about them. It's about them. It's not about. My role is just to support, to guide, to encourage, and to help them pursue that elevation.
That is awesome. Our hour went by like fast.
Yeah.
It went by really fast. It's a great conversation. You've been dropping amazing nuggets and adding definite value to my life for sure. And I know that you've been adding some positive value to our viewers. But before we go, I've got 2 questions.
Okay.
One is a question Vic always asks.
Okay.
How do you see what is your future self 5 years from now? Who is Gretchen Williams? Where is HOPEFull Coaching?
HOPEFull Coaching is successful. It is a multi-level coaching program, practice, like coaching practice with not just me being the Hope Coach, but, other coaches coming alongside me to help others, to be, do, and go further in life. And there might be some books, some hopeful books, and just, I've also envisioned Hope Talks, like the TED Talks. I envision some Hope Talks and just helping people on a daily basis, and just helping them to become who they were created to be. So that's where I see myself in 5 years, and definitely doing this full time. I'll say that is in the plan, to do my coaching full time, and the additional things that brings. That's what I'd like to do. That's where I'd like to be in 5 years.
Awesome. And the second thing is, what are there any last nuggets, any last things that you want to share with the viewers? And mainly, make sure you tell them how to reach you again. I want you to share the value and make sure you tell them how to reach out to you again.
Okay. What I mainly want you all to understand is that hope is not a wish. Hope is not passive. Hope is active. It is fuel. It is the leveraging agent to help you to become who you were created to become. It is a joyful, confident expectations. One of my favorite verses is Romans 12:2. Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, and faithful in prayer. And so that's what I just, want to leave you with, that It's more than a wish. It's more than a notion. Hope is what can get you to go up. You can reach me at HOPECoach_Gretchen on Instagram. You can reach me at HOPEFull Coaching on Facebook. And then my website is HOPEFull-Coaching.live. Just message me on any of those platforms, and I will be sure to respond very, very quickly. Thank you all so much for y'all being here tonight, and thank you, Laquita. And I'm sorry you weren't here, Vic, but next time, enjoy. But I thank you so much for what you are doing and how you are doing it, and how you're giving us solopreneurs and entrepreneurs a place that we can come and share our story and share our passion and purpose. I really appreciate this tonight.
You are so very welcome. That's the purpose of Create Your Future Self. You know, Vic and I met because we had a mutual coach who thought that we'd be able to work well together. And he was right. Our coach at that time, his name is Marcus Ogden. And he was able to see some things in us and some value that we didn't quite see at that moment. And he paired us together, and the rest, as they say, is history. But the purpose for the Create Your Future Self Live is really to give encouragement and hope to the entrepreneur, the solopreneur. When you're just getting started, you're trying to figure out how to scale and grow your business. But that can be expensive, getting into the levels of education and training and certificate programs. But we bring subject matter experts on who have already been there, done that. They have the value to add and are willing to give it to our viewers and to others who are trying to do the same thing, trying to replicate themselves. So thank you so much for coming. You have dropped some amazing value. Ms. Gretchen Williams, the Hope Coach, thank you so much. To those of you that have been viewing with us across Facebook, YouTube, on Twitter, as well as on Apple and Roku TV. Thank you so much to our viewers. Until next time, this is Laquita Monley. This is Create Your Future Self Live. We'll be back next Monday, 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Until then, God bless. Peace.
Amen.